Hey there. Ever wonder what it'd be like to stand in the middle of life's chaos, gossip swirling, insults flying, anger boiling, and just stay calm? Not because you're ignoring it, but because you've got this quiet, unshakable strength inside you. That's what we're diving into today, the art of silence. Not just keeping your mouth shut, but using silence as a tool, a shield, a way to rise above the noise and come out stronger, wiser, and more at peace. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see how saying nothing can sometimes say everything. Let's get started. Imagine you're in a crowded room, and everyone's talking over each other. Rumors are spreading like wildfire, someone's throwing shade, and tempers are flaring. It's overwhelming, right? Your first instinct might be to jump in, defend yourself, or fire back. But what if you didn't? What if, instead, you took a deep breath and let the storm pass around you? That's the power of silence. It's not about being weak or avoiding conflict. It's about choosing your battles wisely, staying grounded in who you are, and letting your calm be your strength. See, we live in a world that's always loud. Social media's buzzing, opinions are flying, and it feels like everyone's shouting to be heard. But here's the secret: you don't have to join the noise. Silence can be your superpower. When you stay quiet in the face of drama, you're not giving in, you're taking control. You're saying, I don't need to react to every jab or rumor to prove my worth. That kind of confidence, it's magnetic. It draws people in, makes them wonder what's keeping you so steady. Think about a time when someone said something that got under your skin. Maybe it was a snarky comment or a straight-up lie about you. Your heart raced, and you wanted to set the record straight. But imagine this: instead of firing back, you pause. You let their words hang in the air, and you realize they don't define you. That's silence at work. It's not just staying quiet, it's trusting yourself so deeply that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. This isn't about bottling up your feelings or pretending everything's fine. It's about feeling the anger, the hurt, or the frustration and then choosing how to respond. Sometimes, the strongest response is no response at all. It's like standing tall in a storm, knowing the winds can't knock you down. By the end of this journey, you'll see how silence can protect your peace, help you grow, and let you walk through life's chaos with grace. So, are you ready to explore this quiet strength? Let's dive in and discover how saying nothing can speak volumes. The quiet power within you. Imagine this: you're walking through a storm. Rain's pouring, winds howling, and everyone around you is shouting, trying to be heard. But you're standing there, steady, calm, like the eye of the hurricane. That's what silence can do. It's not about being passive or weak, it's about choosing when to speak and when to let your presence do the talking. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a deliberate choice, a way to hold your ground when the world's trying to pull you into its chaos. It's strength, disguised as stillness. See, we live in a world that's loud, relentlessly loud. Social media's a constant buzz of opinions, arguments, and hot takes. Rumors spread faster than you can blink, and it feels like everyone's competing to be the loudest voice in the room. Scroll through your feed, and it's a battle of who can shout the most, who can get the most likes, who can win the argument. But here's the thing: the loudest person isn't always the strongest. Sometimes, the one who stays quiet, who doesn't jump into the fray, walks away with the most power.
Why?
Because they're rooted. They know who they are, what they stand for, and they don't need to prove it to anyone. Their silence says, I'm secure enough to let this pass. I want you to think about a time you felt overwhelmed. Maybe someone was spreading lies about you, whispering in group chats or gossiping behind your back. Or maybe you got hit with a cheap shot that stung, like a snarky comment at work or a jab from someone you thought was a friend. Your heart started racing, didn't it? Your first instinct was probably to fire back, to set the record straight, to defend your name. You wanted to jump in and say, that's not true, or, you don't know what you're talking about. But what if instead, you took a deep breath and just let it go? Not because you couldn't fight back, but because you didn't need to. That's the kind of strength we're talking about today. It's called Stoicism, and it's all about mastering your reactions, using silence as your secret weapon, and turning life's challenges into chances to grow. Stoicism isn't some dusty philosophy from ancient times. It's a practical way to navigate the messiness of life. It teaches you that you can't control what other people say or do, but you can control how you respond. And sometimes, the most powerful response is silence. Not a sulky, "I'm ignoring you" silence, but a calm, confident one that says, "Your noise doesn't shake me." It's about trusting yourself so deeply that you don't need to get dragged into every argument or drama. When you choose silence, you're not avoiding the problem, you're rising above it. You're protecting your peace and showing the world that your worth doesn't depend on winning every battle. Think about it like this: life's going to throw storms at you. Gossip, insults, unfair criticism, moments that make your blood boil, those are the winds and rain. Stoicism gives you a way to stand firm, like a lighthouse that doesn't budge no matter how wild the waves get. And silence, that's your anchor. It keeps you steady, lets you stay true to yourself, and turns chaos into an opportunity to grow stronger. So, let's break this down. We're going to walk through some of the toughest situations you'll face. Gossip that stings, insults that cut deep, anger that threatens to take over, criticism that feels unfair, loss that breaks your heart, injustice that makes you want to scream, and more. For each one, I'll show you how silence, paired with Stoic wisdom, can help you not just survive, but thrive. You'll see how saying nothing can sometimes speak louder than any words. Ready? Let's dive into the first one: gossip. It's sneaky, it's painful, but with the right mindset, you can shut it down without saying a word. Starving gossip with silence. Picture this: you're at work, or maybe it's in your friend group, and you hear your name being whispered. Someone's spreading a rumor about you. It's juicy, it's wrong, and it's spreading like wildfire. Your heart's racing, your palms are sweaty, and all you want to do is jump in and shut it down. You want to confront the source, tell everyone, "That's not true," and clear your name. The urge to fight back is almost overwhelming, like a reflex you can't ignore. But hold up. What if fighting back is exactly what the rumor needs to grow? What if, by diving into the drama, you're only making it bigger? Here's where Stoicism steps in with a game changer: don't add fuel to the fire. When you engage with gossip, when you argue, defend yourself, or try to set the record straight, you're giving it life. You're saying, "This matters enough for me to get involved." You're handing the rumor oxygen, letting it burn brighter. But when you stay silent, you're starving it. Gossip thrives on attention, on reactions, on the back and forth. By not giving it any of that, you're letting it fizzle out, like a fire that's run out of wood. Silence isn't just doing nothing, it's a deliberate choice, a strategy to take back your power. Now, I know what you're thinking, but won't people think I'm guilty if I don't say anything? I get it. It's tough to stand there while lies are flying around, twisting who you are in other people's minds. The fear of being misunderstood, of people assuming the worst, can feel like a weight on your chest. But here's the truth: the people who matter, the ones who really know you, won't be swayed by some hallway chatter or group chat nonsense. Your true friends, your family, the colleagues who've seen your character in action, they know the real you. They're not going to buy into a half-baked story just because it's loud. And the ones who believe the rumors, the ones who are quick to judge without asking you directly, they're not your people. Their opinions don't get to define you, and your job isn't to change their minds, it's to protect your peace. Think about it like this: your character, your actions, the way you live your life, that's what defines you. Not some flimsy, made-up story someone decided to spread. Rumors are like shadows. They might look big and scary, but they're not real. They don't have substance unless you give it to them. When you stay silent, you're not just avoiding drama, you're rising above it. You're saying, "My worth doesn't depend on what you think." And that's powerful. It's a quiet kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. It's the strength of knowing who you are and trusting that the truth will shine through in the end. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what others say or think, but we can control how we respond. And choosing silence in the face of gossip isn't about being passive, it's about being strategic. It's about refusing to play a game that's rigged against you. Every time you choose not to engage, you're building resilience, like a muscle that gets stronger with practice. You're reminding yourself that your value comes from within, from the choices you make, the integrity you show, and the way you carry yourself. So, next time you hear a rumor, don't let it pull you in. Take a deep breath, feel the sting, and then let it go. Remind yourself who you are, not the version someone's trying to paint, but the real you, the one who's bigger than their words. Let your silence shut it down, not because you're afraid to speak, but because you're strong enough not to. Watch how the gossip fades when it's got nothing to feed on, and feel the peace that comes with knowing you're untouchable. That's the Stoic way, calm, confident, and always in control. Brushing off insults with inner strength. Alright, let's talk about insults. You know the kind, those sharp, cutting words that hit you out of nowhere. Maybe it's a snarky comment at a family dinner, a jab in a meeting that catches you off guard, or something online that feels like a punch to the gut. They sting, don't they? Even if you try to shrug them off, they can linger, creeping into your thoughts, making you question yourself. Did I deserve that? Was there some truth to it? It's like a splinter you can't quite pull out. But here's a Stoic secret that flips the script. When someone insults you, they're not really talking about you. They're showing you who they are. Their words are like a mirror reflecting their own struggles, their insecurities, maybe even just a bad day that's got nothing to do with you. Stoicism teaches us to see this clearly, to step back and not take it personally. It's not about you being unworthy, it's about their perspective, their baggage. The only opinion that can truly define you is your own, and that's where your power lies. So, how do you handle an insult? First, feel it. Don't pretend it doesn't hurt, acknowledge the sting. It's okay to feel the burn, to let it sit for a moment. Stoicism isn't about being a robot, it's about being human. But then, ask yourself, does this change who I am? Spoiler alert, it doesn't. You're still the same person with the same values, the same heart, the same purpose. That insult, it's just noise. It only has power if you let it in, if you give it space to rattle your confidence. And that's where silence comes in, not a sulky, I'm ignoring you silence, but a calm, confident one that says, your words don't get to decide my worth. Silence here isn't about weakness, it's a choice, a shield. It's you standing firm, refusing to let someone else's venom pull you down to their level. Imagine someone hurling an insult, expecting you to snap back, to get defensive or angry. But instead, you just look at them, calm and unbothered, maybe with a slight nod or a steady gaze. That's disarming. It throws them off because they're ready for a fight, and you're not giving them one. That's strength, quiet, unshakable strength. You're showing them, and more importantly yourself, that you're bigger than their words. Now, I'm not saying you should never speak up. If someone's crossing a line, being abusive, or hurting others, you can and should set boundaries. Stoicism doesn't mean rolling over, it means choosing your response, not reacting on impulse. Sometimes, you might need to say, that's not okay, or walk away to protect your space. But often, the strongest response is no response at all. By staying silent, you're preserving your peace, keeping your focus on what matters, your values, your growth, your inner calm. You're proving that no one else gets to write your story. So next time an insult comes your way, take a breath, feel it, then let it slide. You've got this. Facing criticism without flinching. Criticism. It's like a punch you didn't see coming. Whether it's your boss tearing into your work in front of everyone, a friend pointing out a flaw in that way that feels more like a jab, or some stranger online with way too much to say, it can hit hard. Especially when it feels unfair, like they've missed the mark entirely or twisted your intentions. It stings, and suddenly you're defensive, your mind racing with ways to clap back, to prove them wrong, to set the record straight. Your first instinct is to fire off a response, to show they've got it all wrong. But Stoicism steps in with a quieter, wiser approach. Hold on. Let's do this differently. When someone criticizes you, especially if it feels like a low blow, start with a pause. It's the same trick Stoicism uses for anger. Just take a beat. Give yourself a moment to breathe, to let that initial sting fade before it takes over. It's like stepping back from a wave before it crashes over you. In that pause, ask yourself, does this criticism define me? Here's the deal, it doesn't. Your worth, your identity, isn't tied to what someone else thinks, no matter how loudly they say it. You are not your mistakes, and you're definitely not someone's snap judgment or bad mood. Your value comes from within, your actions, your values, the person you choose to be every day. Now, get curious. Stoicism encourages us to look at the source of the criticism, to dig a little deeper. Is this person trying to help, even if their delivery's rough? Or is it more about their own baggage, their insecurities, frustrations, or need to feel superior? Often, criticism says more about the critic than it does about you. Maybe your boss is stressed and taking it out on you, or that friend's feeling insecure and projecting. Seeing that can help you let it roll off your back, like water off a duck. It's not about you, it's about them. But here's the kicker: even if the criticism is harsh, unfair, or delivered with a smirk, there might be a grain of truth in it. Stoicism isn't about dismissing feedback outright, it's about using it wisely. Take a step back and ask, is there something here I can learn? If there's a nugget of insight, something you can improve, grab it and grow. If it's just noise, let it go without a second thought. By staying calm and choosing silence over a knee-jerk defense, you're doing more than avoiding an argument. You're protecting your peace. You're saying, I'm secure enough in who I am that I don't need to fight every battle. That's not weakness, it's strength, the kind that runs deep. Imagine your critic expecting a heated comeback, ready to escalate, and instead, you offer a nod, maybe a calm, I'll think about that, or nothing at all. It's disarming. It shows you're not rattled, that their words don't get to shake your core. That kind of strength lets you walk away from criticism with your head high, knowing you're still you, no matter what anyone says. Silence here isn't about giving up or admitting fault, it's about choosing your response with purpose. You're not ignoring the criticism, you're processing it, sifting through it, and deciding what's worth your energy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our peace, and let the rest fall away. So next time criticism comes your way, pause, reflect, and let your calm be your power. You'll come out stronger, wiser, and still you. Finding light in the pain of loss. Loss is one of those things that hits us all eventually, like a wave you can't outrun. Maybe it's losing someone you love, a parent, a partner, a friend who was your rock. Maybe it's a relationship that meant everything, one you poured your heart into, only to watch it slip away. Or maybe it's a piece of who you thought you were, a job that defined you, a dream that didn't pan out, or a version of yourself you had to let go. It hurts. It's raw, it's heavy, and it can feel like the ground's been pulled out from under you, leaving you stumbling in the dark. Stoicism doesn't pretend loss isn't painful. It embraces it, fully and honestly. But it also shows us a way to carry that pain without letting it break us, a way to find light even in the heaviest moments. When loss comes, Stoicism says, feel it. Don't push the grief away or try to act like it's not there. Cry if you need to, scream into a pillow, mourn the emptiness, let yourself be human. There's no shame in feeling the weight of it all. But in the middle of that pain, take a moment to breathe, to steady yourself, and remember, you can't control what you've lost, but you can control how you respond. That's where your power lies. It's not about denying the hurt, it's about choosing to carry it with intention, to let it shape you without shattering you. Here's a Stoic perspective that's tough but beautiful. Loss is part of life. Everything we have, people, jobs, even our own identities, is temporary, like a loan from the universe. We don't get to keep anything forever. Knowing that doesn't erase the pain, but it can shift how you see it. It's like realizing the sunset is fleeting, so you savor every color while it lasts. This mindset helps you appreciate what you have while it's here, every laugh with a loved one, every moment of connection, and let go with grace when it's time. It's about finding a balance between holding on tightly and opening your hands when the moment comes. That balance isn't easy, but it's a kind of strength that grows with practice. Stoicism also sees loss as a chance to grow, which I know sounds almost impossible when you're in the thick of it. When your heart's broken, the last thing you want to hear is, "This will make you stronger." But every loss carries lessons, even if they're hard-won. Maybe it teaches you resilience, showing you that you can keep going even when it feels like you can't. Maybe it reveals a strength you didn't know you had, like a muscle you only discover under pressure. It's not about finding a silver lining right away or forcing yourself to look on the bright side. It's about trusting that, in time, you'll find meaning in the hurt, maybe a deeper compassion for others, a clearer sense of what matters, or a new path you hadn't seen before. And don't go it alone. Stoicism isn't about being a lone wolf, gritting your teeth through the pain. Reach out to your people, friends, family, anyone who can listen. Share your pain, let them hold you up, lean on their strength when yours feels shaky. That's not weakness, it's wisdom, the kind that knows healing happens in connection. By navigating loss with stoic grace, you're not just surviving, you're finding your way back to peace, step by step. You're weaving the pain into your story, building a heart that's stronger, wiser, and still open to life's beauty. Standing tall against injustice. Injustice is one of those things that can shake you to your core, like a crack running through your foundation. Whether it's something you experience, like being treated unfairly at work, judged for who you are, or cheated out of what you deserve, or something you witness, like a system that's hurting people, crushing their hopes under its weight, it hits hard. It's natural to feel angry, your blood boiling at the unfairness. It's normal to feel helpless, like your hands are tied, or even hopeless, wondering if things will ever change. Those feelings are real, and Stoicism doesn't ask you to ignore them or pretend they don't exist. Instead, it offers a way to channel that raw energy into something powerful, something that can move mountains, even if it's just one step at a time. When you see or feel injustice, start by stepping back. Not to disconnect or turn away, but to get clear, to see the situation for what it is. It's like pulling back the lens to get the full picture. Ask yourself, what can I actually do here? Stoicism is all about focusing on what's in your control, your actions, your attitude, your choices. You might not be able to fix the whole world or dismantle every broken system overnight, but you can do something. Maybe it's speaking up when you see someone being mistreated, offering a kind word or a helping hand to someone who's hurting. Maybe it's working for change in your own corner of the world, volunteering, educating, or advocating for what's right. Whatever it is, do it with intention, not impulse. Act from a place of purpose, not just a flare of anger. Here's the Stoic twist that changes everything. Even when the world feels unfair, you can protect your inner peace. Injustice can drain you, make you feel like you're carrying the weight of it all on your shoulders. It can leave you exhausted, questioning why you even try. But Stoicism teaches you to build an inner fortress, a place inside you that stays strong, no matter what's happening outside. This isn't about shutting off your emotions or stopping caring. It's about not letting the chaos steal your clarity. It's about holding on to your strength, your focus, so you can keep fighting the good fight without burning out. And don't forget the power of community. Injustice can make you feel alone, like you're shouting into the void. But you're not. Connect with others who see what you see, who feel what you feel. Stand together, share your stories, draw strength from a shared purpose. That's how you make a difference, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. A single voice can be powerful, but a chorus? That's unstoppable. With Stoicism, you're not just reacting to injustice, letting anger or despair take the wheel. You're responding with courage, with wisdom, and with a fire that burns steady, not wild. You're turning pain into purpose, and that's how you keep going, how you keep pushing for a world that's a little more just one intentional step at a time. Meeting ignorance with patience. We've all been there. You're talking to someone, and they say something so off base, so uninformed, you can barely believe it. Maybe it's a coworker spouting a wild theory, a family member repeating something they heard without checking, or a random comment online that's just plain wrong. Your first instinct is to jump in, correct them, maybe even roll your eyes a little or let out a sarcastic, "Seriously." You want to set the record straight, to fix the mistake right then and there. But Stoicism steps in with a different approach, a quieter, wiser one. Let's try something else. Instead of arguing or shutting them down, listen. Really listen. Not just nodding while you plan your comeback, but truly hearing what they're saying. Try to understand where they're coming from, what's behind their words. Are they scared, clinging to a belief because it feels safe? Are they misinformed, repeating something they heard without questioning? Or are they just seeing the world through a different lens, shaped by experiences you might not know? Listening doesn't mean you agree or endorse their view. It means you're giving yourself the space to respond thoughtfully, to step back from the urge to react. It's like hitting pause on a heated moment, letting the dust settle so you can see clearly. From that place of calm, you can decide what to do next. Maybe you share some information, gently, without expecting them to change their mind on the spot. A simple, "Hey, I read something different about that. Want me to share it?" can plant a seed without starting a fight. Or maybe you ask a question to get them thinking, like, "What makes you see it that way?" Sometimes, the most stoic move is to learn from the moment itself, to practice patience, to lean into humility, and to recognize that you don't have to fix every wrong opinion. You're not the world's fact-checker, and not every conversation needs to end with you being right. Now, if the ignorance is harmful, like misinformation that could hurt someone, spread division, or cause real damage, Stoicism doesn't say stay quiet. Speak up, share the truth, but do it with calm, not anger. Anger makes you loud, but calm makes you clear. Present the facts with steady confidence, like you're laying out a map for them to follow, not shoving it in their face. And here's a big one: choose your battles wisely. Not every wrong opinion needs your energy. Some arguments are just noise, pulling you into a cycle of frustration with no real outcome. Sometimes, the best response is to walk away, to save your strength for moments that matter more, conversations where you can make a difference or issues that align with your values. Oh, and one more thing. Stoicism reminds us to check our own blind spots. We're all ignorant about something, whether we admit it or not. That topic you're so sure about? There's probably more to learn. Being open to questioning your own assumptions, to saying, maybe I don't have the full picture, is what keeps you growing. It's the humility that pairs perfectly with Stoic strength. So, next time you're face to face with ignorance, don't just see it as a frustration. See it as a chance to practice patience, to teach or learn, and to stay true to your calm, Stoic core. You'll walk away not just wiser, but stronger, knowing you handled it with grace. Silencing boasts with quiet confidence. You know those moments when someone's bragging non-stop? They're going on and on about their shiny new car, their big promotion that came with a corner office, or how they're basically the best at everything. Work, life, you name it. It's like they're putting on a one-person show, and you're stuck in the audience. It can be annoying, right? Maybe it even makes you feel small, like you're not measuring up, or you catch yourself wanting to one-up them with your own story. Your mind starts racing, tempted to jump in and say, well, I did this, or my thing's better. But Stoicism has a better idea. Stay quiet and stay confident. It's a move that's simple but powerful, and it keeps you grounded in who you are. When someone's boasting, they're often fishing for something: validation, admiration, a nod that says, wow, you're amazing. They want you to clap, to be impressed, to feed their ego. But Stoicism teaches us to see through the performance. Their need to brag isn't about you, it's about them. Maybe they're wrestling with insecurities, feeling like they need to prove their worth. Maybe they're hungry for approval, trying to fill a gap with external praise. Whatever's driving it, their boasting is their story, not yours. Instead of jumping into the game, trying to match their energy or top their tail, choose silence. Not a cold, judgmental silence that screams, I'm above you, but a calm, steady, I'm good with who I am silence that lets you stay true to yourself. This isn't about ignoring them or acting superior, like you're too cool to care. It's about staying focused on your own path, your own values. You don't need to prove your worth by matching their boasts or getting into a who's better contest. Your achievements, the way you live your life, the principles you hold close, those are what define you, not how loudly you can toot your own horn. And here's the cool part: that quiet confidence is magnetic. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need a spotlight. When you stand secure in who you are, unbothered by someone else's need to shine, people notice. Not because you're shouting, but because you're steady. It's like being a rock in a river. The current swirls around you, but you don't budge. Now, if the boasting gets out of hand, say, it's tipping into arrogance, or they're straight up lying to puff themselves up, you don't have to stay silent forever. You can respond, but keep it kind, keep it true, and don't let it pull you into an ego battle. Maybe you gently call out the exaggeration with a, huh, that's interesting, how'd that happen? Or redirect the conversation to something real. The key is to stay calm, not let their bravado drag you into a fight for supremacy. Stoicism's about rising above, not wrestling in the mud. And here's a gem: take a moment to check yourself. Why does their bragging bug you? Is it stirring up insecurity, making you feel like you're not enough? Is it sparking a competitive streak, urging you to prove you're just as good? Use that feeling as a chance to grow. Dig into it, ask what it's telling you about yourself, and then double down on your own sense of worth. Maybe it's a reminder to focus on your goals, to celebrate your wins, big or small, without needing a crowd to cheer. With Stoic silence, you're not just dodging drama, you're building a confidence that doesn't need anyone else's applause. This approach is like armor. It shields you from getting sucked into pointless competitions and keeps your peace intact. Next time someone's flexing their ego, try it. Take a breath, let their words wash over you, and hold fast to your quiet strength. You'll walk away feeling not smaller, but bigger, rooted in a confidence that's all your own, no validation required. Rising above rumors with grace. Back to rumors for a second, because they're sneaky little things, aren't they? You hear something about yourself. Maybe it's at school, whispered in the hallways between classes, or at work, buzzing through the break room. Maybe it's online, spreading through group chats or social media posts. And it's not just wrong, it's damaging. It twists who you are, paints you in a way that feels like a betrayal. Your stomach drops, your heart races, and your first thought is to fight back, to tell everyone the truth, to shout, "That's not me." You want to track down the source, set the record straight, and make sure everyone knows the real story. But Stoicism steps in with a calm, steady voice. Wait. There's a better way. When a rumor's circling, jumping in can make it worse. It's like wrestling with a pig in the mud. You both get dirty, and the pig loves it. The more you argue, the more you defend, the more fuel you're pouring onto the fire. You're giving the rumor life, turning it into a bigger spectacle. People start taking sides, the story grows legs, and suddenly it's not just a whisper, it's a saga. Instead, try silence. Not because you're giving up or admitting defeat, but because you're choosing not to play the game. Rumors need attention to survive, like a plant needs water. When you don't give it that attention, when you refuse to engage, they start to fade. They wither under the weight of their own emptiness, because without your reaction, there's nothing to keep them going. Here's the Stoic wisdom that cuts through the noise. Your worth isn't tied to what people say about you. It's not defined by the gossip in the group chat, the sideways glances, or the half-truths someone decided to spin. The people who know you, your friends, your family, the colleagues who've seen your character in action, won't buy into the lies. They know the real you, the one who shows up, who lives with integrity, who doesn't need to prove anything. And the ones who believe the rumors, the ones who are quick to judge without asking for your side, their opinions don't get to define you. They're not your people, and their whispers don't get to rewrite your story. By staying silent, you're not admitting anything, you're showing you're above it. You're letting your actions, your integrity, do the talking, and those speak louder than any rumor ever could. This moment is also a chance to look inward, to do some quiet work on yourself. Why does the rumor hurt? Is it hitting a nerve, poking at a fear or insecurity you didn't even know was there? Maybe it's making you question yourself, wondering if there's a sliver of truth in the lie. Use that sting as a moment to strengthen your inner core. Ask yourself, who am I really? Remind yourself of your values, your choices, the person you strive to be. That's the real you, not the caricature someone's trying to sell. Silence isn't just about dodging the rumor, it's about building resilience, about fortifying the part of you that no one's words can touch. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what others say or think, but we can control how we respond. Choosing silence in the face of rumors is a power move, a way of saying, I'm bigger than this. It's about navigating the noise of the world with grace and strength, like a ship cutting through choppy waters. Next time a rumor starts swirling, take a deep breath, feel the hurt, and then let it go. Trust that the truth will rise to the surface, carried by your actions, not your arguments. You'll find a peace that's unshakable, a strength that grows with every storm you weather, and a clarity that no gossip can cloud. The strength of saying nothing. All right, let's wrap this up with a big picture, because we've covered a lot of ground, and it's time to tie it all together. Silence isn't just about biting your tongue or holding back words. It's so much more than that. It's a choice, a strategy, a way of living that's deeply rooted in Stoic wisdom. Whether you're facing gossip that stings, insults that cut, anger that threatens to take over, criticism that feels like a slap, loss that breaks your heart, injustice that shakes your faith, ignorance that tests your patience, boasts that tempt your ego, or rumors that twist your truth, silence gives you the power to stay steady. It's your shield, your anchor, your way to protect your peace and come out stronger, wiser, and more grounded. Think of it like this. Every time you choose silence over a knee-jerk reaction, you're building a fortress inside yourself. Not a cold, impenetrable wall, but a sanctuary, a place where no one's words, no one's actions, can shake you. It's a space where you stand tall, rooted in who you are, unshaken by the storms raging outside. You're not shutting down or giving up when you stay silent, you're rising up. You're declaring, I know who I am and I don't need to prove it to anyone. That's not just strength, it's a quiet, unshakable confidence that carries you through life's toughest moments. But here's the thing, and it's important. Stoic silence isn't about being emotionless or pretending you're above it all. It's not about stuffing your feelings down or acting like a robot. Quite the opposite. It's about feeling everything. The anger that burns, the pain that aches, the frustration that makes you want to scream, you let yourself feel it all. Stoicism doesn't ask you to deny your humanity. It asks you to embrace it, to sit with those emotions, and then choose how to respond. It's about pausing, taking a breath, and reflecting before you act. And sometimes, after that pause, you'll realize the most purposeful act is to say nothing at all. That silence isn't empty. It's full of intention, full of power, full of you choosing to stay true to your core. Let's look back at what we've explored. When gossip or rumors swirl, silence starves them, letting your character speak louder than lies. When insults fly, silence shows you're bigger than someone else's venom, rooted in your own worth. When anger flares, a stoic pause turns a wildfire into a controlled spark, guiding you to act with purpose. Criticism, even the unfair kind, becomes a chance to learn or let go, with silence preserving your peace. Loss, as painful as it is, finds meaning through stoic grace, with silence giving you space to heal. Injustice meets a steady fire, channeled through intentional action, while silence guards your clarity. Ignorance tests your patience, but silence lets you listen, learn, or walk away wiser. And boasts. Silence meets them with quiet confidence, proving you don't need to shout to shine. Each of these moments, big or small, is a chance to practice this stoic art. It's not about perfection. Nobody gets it right every time. Sometimes, you'll react, you'll snap, you'll get pulled into the noise. And that's okay. Stoicism isn't about being flawless. It's about progress, about learning to pause a little longer, to choose silence a little more often, to grow a little stronger each time. Every time you do, you're adding another brick to that inner fortress, making it a place where you can weather any storm. So, I want to leave you with a challenge, something you can carry with you. The next time life throws something at you, a rumor that stings, an insult that smarts, a moment that makes your blood boil, try this. Take a breath, feel the moment, let it wash over you. Then ask yourself, do I need to respond, or can my silence say it all? Don't just brush it off, really sit with it. Feel the urge to react, acknowledge it, and then choose. Give silence a shot, even if it feels hard at first. I bet you'll be amazed at the strength you find, the kind that doesn't need words to prove itself. It's like discovering a muscle you didn't know you had, one that grows every time you use it. This isn't about becoming someone else, it's about becoming more of who you already are. It's about navigating life's chaos with a little more grace, a little more wisdom, and a whole lot of quiet strength. You don't need to shout to be heard, to fight to be respected, or to prove your worth to anyone. Your silence, your choices, your steady presence, they speak volumes. Thanks for hanging out with me today, for diving into this journey through the art of silence. If this hit home for you, if it sparked something inside, hit that subscribe button and stick around for more. We're all on this path together, learning how to face life's storms with clarity and courage, one intentional moment at a time. I'll see you in the next one, ready to keep building that fortress, ready to keep rising above the noise.